link. All right, I'm gonna, yes! All right, thank you, Tyler. Okay, so what I was saying was this live stream got off to a real rough start, as you can see. It is all over the place, and I apologize for that. Please type your questions in the chat bar, and I will answer them. I'm going to start with a question that somebody asked me on Instagram, which is a good one, and a hard one. Somebody said to me, how do I get the weird sound that's coming from behind my mouthpiece, behind my reed when I play? How do I get rid of that? And that's a hard one for me to diagnose because I can't hear what's going on. So I have a couple of diagnostic questions that I usually ask, which is, what kind of reed are you using? What quality is your reed? Does it have any chips or cracks or breaks in it? Any mold on it? Anything like that? I will ask what kind of mouthpiece you're playing on. And then another one that I like to ask is, how does your embouchure feel when you play? Because a lot of times the way our embouchure is, the strength of our embouchure, the control of our embouchure will impact the sound that's coming out of our clarinets, especially in that area when we're talking about something behind the reed, behind the mouthpiece. So let's talk about that really quickly. When your embouchure isn't strong, sometimes you get air leaking out from the sides of your embouchure around your mouthpiece, and that can definitely impact your sound. Another one that I'll hear is a spitty sound, and that's usually spit building up behind the reed. Sometimes certain reeds have that sound to them, and what I usually suggest to people is to take their reed off, put it on a flat surface, put a white piece of paper on a flat surface, then put the flat part of the reed on it, and then you can rub your reed against that paper like that. It'll seal up those fibers on the back of the reed, and that can take that spittiness away from that sound as well. So that's one of the things that you can do. Definitely play around with reed strengths. If your reed is too hard, it will have a stuffy sound to it. Especially if your reed is broken, that's another one. Double check the quality of your reed, and that includes cracks. Sometimes there'll be a crack in the reed, especially now that the weather is getting more dry, and those cracks are hard to see. If you have a little crack, a hairline crack in that reed, that will impact your sound as well. Another one that is worth visiting is the quality of your mouthpiece. So if you're playing that stock mouthpiece that came with your instrument, you're very welcome. And so if you're playing that stock mouthpiece, a lot of times they do not have the greatest quality, and then you don't have a good sound that's coming from that also. Okay, so those are the things that we can do with equipment. Where it gets a little bit harder is when it's related to your soft palate that's inside your mouth, inside your oral cavity. Oh, thank you so much. I'm getting so many great compliments. And I think your name is Jimena. I don't know how to say your name, so I'm hoping I'm saying it right, but thank you for all of your lovely things, lovely compliments, and I appreciate them. And you just got here, we're talking about, I have somebody that contacted me that was getting a weird sound when they were playing back behind their reed, behind their mouthpiece. So yay! So what I'm talking about with the soft palate, and you'll notice that with other clarinet players, it kind of sounds like this, like that. And it's really challenging to fix that one because it has to do with how the air is moving in this sort of upper oral cavity. And one of the ways I help students with that is by actually telling them to yawn. Right in there, so that they can drop the feeling of the air, so the airflow more, it goes like this, right that way, instead of up into their nasal passageway and down that way, which can be causing that sound that happens, which is, it's kind of hard to fix that. So hopefully the person that reached out to me, it's an equipment problem and not that soft palate leak that's that can be a real problem for people. Okay. All right, so let me talk to Tyler. Recently got my clarinet overhauled and it plays on. Oh, good. Yes, and Jimena, getting a clarinet overhauled, it can be very expensive too. And so it's one of the things that's on my list for one of my clarinets that I need to get in there. So good job, Tyler. And it is nice when they get overhauled. It really makes a big difference. Okay, so we have another question coming in from Ashanti. And the reason why I'm going like this is so I can read it, because it's on my computer over here. I struggle with articulating while playing higher notes using the register key. Unless I play them very loudly, this makes it hard for me to play high notes in piano. What can I do to fix this? That's a great question. Okay, so if you're able to play the articulations below the break, you can play them above the break too. It just takes a lot more control. So it's a lot easier for us to play anything in the shallow mo register of the clarinet. That's the register of the clarinet without the register key. Right? So once we hit that register key, it's harder to get that beautiful sound without that grunt in there over into the clarion range. So once you hit the register key, you're in your clarion range here. So once again, I'm going to just do a couple questions about equipment. So Ashanti, what strength reed are you playing and what mouthpiece are you playing? That can have a huge impact on the articulations over the break. Another one that has a big impact over the break is your ligature. So the ligature also matters with playing over the break too. And then of course your clarinet. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about us when we play over the break. We have to use a lot more air and we use it a lot differently when we're playing over the break too. Don't shy away from playing loud. Play those loud articulations. So let's just take G for now. And I want you to play four da 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 and the G. Nice and loud, and then sustain it. The thing is with articulations, we have to remember that the reed vibrating is the most important part of playing the clarinet, one of the many most important parts. And a lot of times when people think of tonguing, they're stopping the air. They're thinking of stopping the air. Don't think that way. Think about playing a long note and then letting your tongue skip off the reed. Kind of like those sprinkler systems where it goes that air keeps going, the reed keeps vibrating, and your tongue skips off the reed. So play a G and hold it. And while you're driving your air through the instrument, let your tongue skip off the reed. To keep the drive of that air, you're really going to have to support here with your abdominal muscles, so you're pushing through with the clarinet, okay? So start loud and work your way down to quieter with good support, strong air. Reed keeps vibrating, let your tongue skip off the reed. So keep that reed vibrating. Another thing you can do is play low F, hit your register key to the C as a slur, and then rearticulate that C. And you can do that with the dynamic level that you want to. But don't shy away from playing loud and working your way back down into the quiet. A lot of times people start trying to play quiet there and it's hard. You have to have a lot of air and you have to keep it driving through the instrument, and that takes time to find where that place is for you and your clarinet. Okay. All right, Shane wants to know, are you going to keep any of the clarinets you tried? I'm not going to keep any of the clarinets I tried. I did like them. I liked particularly the Ubel Advantage, and I also really liked the Bakun Alpha that I tried way back when, over the summer. I'm going to try a couple more RZ clarinets. I really liked that conservatory, but that was the student model, so I'm very curious about the professional models. I'm going to try those. And I think I might try some of the other Ubels as well. It's a hard place for me to say it, but I did like those clarinets better than I like my buffet. I'd be curious to play it alongside some other buffets. I've been playing buffet ever since I got my first wooden clarinet. Now, my bass clarinet is a Selmer and my alto clarinet is a Yamaha, and I'm very happy with those two. But I have to say, for any of you that heard me play the Ubel and the RZ, they were very, very good clarinets. I really liked them a lot. That Alpha is a good clarinet too, but I'm not in the market for a composite synthetic clarinet. I would like to get another wooden one. So good question. Okay. And then Arctic Breeze says hello, and that name is hilarious. I love it. Okay, so any other questions, please put them in there. Otherwise, I can wrap up. Thank you for coming. It was a little rough start. I was actually hoping to have this live stream out by my Christmas tree, but I wasn't able to pull it off in time. And then for the people that were here at the beginning, they couldn't hear me. That was real fun too. But have you tried the backup, the Bakun MOBAs, Lumiere, or CGs? I have tried the MOBA. I haven't done a live stream about it, but I have tried it a couple times in the past. Yeah, I think wait, are you talking about the mouthpieces? Because I have the CG mouthpiece on here, I think. Actually, yeah, I have the G mouthpiece on there. But for the clarinets, for the Bakuns, I have tried some of their other models. I've tried that the carbon fiber one. That one's amazing. It's really fantastic. It's just got a big, rich sound, a lot of power in that instrument. The trick is for me though, with switching to another clarinet, is that one, I get really comfortable with my clarinets and I really like staying there for a long time. So I'm one of these long haul players where I'll have an instrument for 20 some years. So it takes me a lot to move away from a clarinet. I'm also like that with my couches, it's finances. I have to take that into consideration. So some of these clarinets that I've tried are $10,000, and that is not financially possible for me to pay that much for an instrument. I mean, especially because it's almost as much as a car. So I have to weigh that out, and that's why when I was playing the oboe clarinet, when I played the oboe advantage, I was stunned with the quality of that clarinet, and the price point of that clarinet was just excellent. And that's why I wanted to try more of their instruments, because I mean, you always want to try a bunch of instruments to find the one that works the best for you. But the prices, I mean, it was more than half of what I paid for my buffet. The difference in price, it was absolutely amazing. So that's where I am with clarinets. I'm lucky that people ask me to try the instruments and share them with everybody here. I really am appreciative that I get a chance to do that. But if I switched to every clarinet I tried, I would have a lot of clarinets. The only clarinet where I wish I could have two of the same kind of clarinet by different brands is my buffet. Bass clarinet, excuse me. I don't have a buffet bass clarinet. I have a Selmer bass clarinet, but I would like to have a buffet bass clarinet also. I love both of them for different reasons. But that's the only one where I feel like I could have multiple of the same instrument. But great question also. All right, anything else? Let me know. I'll give it a couple more minutes. I can chatter away talking about clarinets, and especially with the holidays coming up. Tyler just said I was jamming out to music from Wicked on my clarinet, and then I killed my reed. Oh no. Yeah, this is the time of year also to kill the reeds. I feel like they don't have as much durability when it gets colder because the air gets drier. So at least I noticed that, especially when I used to live in New York City, my reeds dried out so fast from all that pumped heat that they put in there. And I also will use, that was when I would keep my clarinet reeds in a Ziploc bag with, I'd have all these multiple reed cases. I can't find mine right now, but I keep it in a Ziploc bag. And then I moved down to Florida, and I kept them in the Ziploc bag down there, and they all got black mold on them because it's much more humid down there. So, okay. Sarah's here. Hi everybody, and thank you for coming. I was wondering how many people would come when it's just a couple days before a big holiday, and but it's nice to see everybody. And then I'm gonna let you know that I'm gonna do a giveaway at our next live stream next week. So I think I'll do it the same time as this one. Maybe I'll do it on Tuesday. Actually, Tuesday might be a better day. And if you have a preferred day, you can actually comment on here. I have some flexibility because I'm on break from school right now. But we've hit 1 million views on the channel, which is pretty exciting. So I wanted to celebrate. So I'm going to do a giveaway, and I'm going to do a live stream giveaway this time. I've never done one of those, so we can sort of do it live, which would be really fun instead of just a regular Ask a Clarinet Teacher. All right, I play bass, and my teacher recorded me play. My tone is airy. Do you have any practices to help? Okay. So we were talking about this, actually kind of talking about this in the beginning of this live stream. So if you're playing a bass clarinet, which is different than a B-flat clarinet, we have a different kind of embouchure. We certainly have a different mouthpiece, reed, ligature, instrument size. First thing I want you to do for bass clarinet is check your reed strength. A lot of people play reeds that are too hard on the bass. Um, I have to go down to half strength. Actually, it's a full strength when I play bass. I like to have a big, rich bass clarinet sound. A bass clarinet can handle a softer reed than a B-flat clarinet and a lot more air through it without that sound getting away from you. Oh, thank you, Jamina. So with that bass clarinet, for instance, I use 4 reeds on my B-flat clarinet, and on my bass clarinet, I use 3 reeds because I feel like I can put a lot more air through that bass clarinet with a 3 reed than I even can with a 3.5. A 3.5 is a struggle for me. With just that half step harder with a bass clarinet reed, I have that airy sound. It's very stuffy, and it's actually hard for me to play, and I don't want it to be hard to play. I want it to be easy. It's already hard enough, right, to play the clarinet. I don't want my reed to make it more difficult. So one of the things that I suggest with bass clarinet players do is try a softer reed and see if that helps. So Joe, 23, just write in the comments what strength reed you're using on your bass. Another thing I need you to check is your bass mouthpiece. There are a lot of great mouthpieces out there for bass clarinet. Selmer C-Star is a really, really good standard one. It actually comes with a lot of Selmer clarinets. So if you have a Selmer C-Star, you're already in good hands with your mouthpiece. I want you to double check your reed situation. The other thing that we need to pay attention to with bass clarinet is our embouchure. So just like the B-flat clarinet, and we need to pay attention to our embouchure there, you need to with bass, but it's different. It's a little bit looser. Not loose as in the sense that if I were to tap your clarinet, it would fly out of your mouth, but you don't have to have the same tightness in there. Strength 3, Van Doren 12 on a BD5. A BD5 bass? They have a BD5 for the bass? Ooh, that's great. Okay, so the BD5 I found is a little bit more condensed of a mouthpiece too. It's a great mouthpiece. I suggest maybe trying some different mouthpieces. So work on your embouchure. So you want firmness around your mouthpiece and your reed. So you want that nice and controlled there. You don't want it too loose. And then maybe try some different mouthpieces. Now, a note about Van Doren reeds, when they make their reeds, they make them all sorts of different sizes that are around the size that they say it's going to be. So if it's a 3, there's going to be a 3.25 in the box. There's going to be a 2.85 in the box. So they have a bunch of different strengths in there because they don't know. I mean, certainly they can't. It's impossible to know the one for the exact same strength for every person that plays, right? So try a different Van Doren reed and find the one that works the best for you. And then to find out what that strength is, I'm assuming if your sound is kind of airy on the bass, that reed might be just a tad too hard for you. So try the 2.5, see how that works. But try all the reeds in that bass clarinet box of reeds. There's only 5, so you can try them all. And then hold them up and see what the lightness of that reed is in the light. You know, this is one of those things where I hold it up like that in front of the light, and then I look at the thickness of the cane in there to see what strength that is, to see how balanced that reed is. So go and check your reeds that way. And another thing that I have found works great for me on bass clarinet is playing tenor saxophone reeds. So try some tenor sax reeds if you've got some handy. The same strength for your B flat will work on the tenor sax reeds too. I mean, the B flat bass will work on your tenor sax reeds, and see if that helps your sound. So embouchure and reeds, you've got a bunch of things you can play around with, but definitely try that softer reed and see if that helps with your sound. All right, any other questions? I've got a whole bunch of hope you have a Merry Christmas, which I'm very excited about. and I think I will. I'm very excited about Christmas always. I just like Christmas. I'm happy if I don't get any presents. I just love the holidays. I love the trees and the cookies and the movies and the music, so it makes me very, very happy. But thank you very much. All right, so Marissa wants to know, what are the best reed brands for B flat and for an advanced student? Okay, this is another great question. Okay, so like I say with pretty much everything on the Clarinet Project channel, what works best for you works best for you. It's just finding which one does. And so there are many different reeds out there, many different mouthpieces, many clarinets, so many ligatures. Oh my gosh, it's amazing how many ligatures there are out there. So for reeds, I recommend the D'Addario Reserve Classic or Evolution reeds. I think they're great reeds. They're very, very consistent. So if you go back to what I was saying about those Van Doren reeds, how you have a lot of inconsistency of the strength in the box, I felt like the D'Addario reeds don't have that. So I can really pull one out of a box and play, whereas I found with Van Doren reeds, I had to go through until I found one that I liked and work on them. And I really don't like working on reeds that much. I would prefer to actually just play the clarinet. But some people really, really enjoy working on reeds. Van Doren reeds are also great reeds. I have played, you know what, Joe, you said V12 reeds, right? I'm going to have you try the blue box of reeds. They're a little less expensive than the V12s, which other of us know as the silver box of reeds. I find the blue box, I had a better sound for bass clarinet on the blue box of reeds. So try those two and see. So for bass clarinet, the blue box of reeds is great. I highly recommend that. But for B-flat clarinet, the V12s are really the standard, and they're really good reeds. So while they don't have the same consistency of strength throughout the box that the D'Addario reeds do, I think the Van Doren reeds last longer. So that's one of the ups and downs between them. That being said, the D'Addario Evolutions that I've been working on or playing with, I've been playing with them for a long time. So they've been lasting a really long time for me as well. So those are the top two that I recommend. There's a lot of other brands out there. I know people love the Legers. They love the Silverstein reeds. So put them in the comments, the reeds that you use that you like a lot, so other people can know what they are. But yeah, and I've had students use the Mitchell-Lurie reeds and they've loved them. But I'm not a huge fan of the Rico reeds, so I think it's worth spending the extra money to get one of the higher level reeds. They just last longer. Now, D'Addario is releasing a synthetic reed called the Ven. Hopefully I'll be able to try that out soon. If you find you're in a situation where you're playing outside a lot for marching band, or you're breaking your reeds a lot, or you live in a place where your reed dries out a lot, so if you are resting a lot and your reed dries out, I would recommend trying one of the synthetic reeds. Maybe try some of the Leger reeds to see if that would work for you. What's great about them is they last so long, months and months and months and months. They are very, very durable, so that's great. It's very hard to break them. And then the other one is that they don't dry out as much. So they're great marching band reeds, and I do recommend them for younger players that are having trouble not breaking their reeds, which happens sometimes. You know, I always was jealous of those trumpet players. All they have to do is just pull that trumpet out of the case and put that mouthpiece on, and they're done. We have to put together all these pieces and deal with reeds and all that too. So, but that's a great question. Okay, all right, next I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Michael O'Brien loves that oboe. I loved the oboe too, and then Michael got an oboe, and just let us know how it's going for you. But the oboe Advantage was one of my live streams. You can look up the video on this channel if you didn't see it, and it was a huge difference. I have two videos where I want to go back and watch my facial expression, and that is one of them. So I wasn't expecting what happened when I played that oboe. It was such a great sound, beautiful and consistent, and very, very in tune. And then the other one where I had a great facial expression from playing a product that really surprised me was the Eddie Daniels bass clarinet ligature. That one was so such a huge change in my sound. I really, really liked that one too. Okay, more questions. Okay, so Tyler, all right, Marissa, I recently got to use, oh, Marissa, I lost you for a second there, a new mouthpiece that says BD5. Yes, Marissa, if you're playing on the BD5, that's a great mouthpiece, very, very solid. Once again, everybody is different, so that's why there are so many different mouthpieces, so that you can find the best one for you. And that's a little struggle that I have with band directors. I know they're busy, I know they're overwhelmed, I know they're working with a lot of people, I know they don't necessarily play the clarinet, so sometimes they'll just say, this is the mouthpiece you need, and you're done here. So when I was in high school, it was the Van Doren B45 mouthpiece. That's it. You're done. You're getting that mouthpiece. Move on. And what the problem is that there's so many mouthpieces because there are so many different mouths, you know, so many different, you know, sound concepts, so many different clarinets. So I really, really, really recommend that you try many mouthpieces to find the one that's best for you. Once you find one that you like, try a couple of that model. So when you get a chance to try a BD5 and that's the one you love, try 3 or 4 BD5s to find the one that works best for you, because there are variations with all the mouthpieces. So that being said, the BD5 is a great mouthpiece. So B45 was the one when I was in high school, and then about 10 years later, it was the 5RV Lyre, was a huge hit, the Van Doren mouthpiece there. Then it was the D'Addario EXO, and then it was the D'Addario Evolution, and now it's the Van Doren BD5. So a lot of times these representatives will come in and they'll be like, all right, your whole section needs to play this, and it's going to solve all your problems. And my recommendation is always try many different kinds. If there's a clarinet day near where you are, which eventually we will finally have clarinet days again, go try mouthpieces there. Once we can all go try equipment at the local music store, go try some there. If you can make it to Clarinet Fest, go try some there. So there are a lot of opportunities to try them in those situations, but I understand that that's hard to get to. So all that being said, my long rant, playing a BD5 is way better than playing a stock mouthpiece. So all the work that you can do, work with your own embouchure, your tongue position, your reed strength, things like that to help with mouthpiece. Tyler, you like the V12 and the V21. Oh yeah, and the 56. I used to play those too. Okay. Tyler used to use Mitchell Lurie reeds for a while. They're pretty nice. Yeah, I've had students that just swear by them. I don't play them, but they love those. Okay, Ashanti, advice for working and playing with clarinets performing. I'll be in a small group of people I've never met to play a piece soon, and I'm nervous. When I'm nervous, frankly, I sound repulsive. Oh, it's such a hard word. That's very heavy. Okay. So this is great. This is a wonderful question, and I love it. I think this is a big question. It's not just a clarinet question. It's not just a music question. It's a life question, because I am one of those people that gets very nervous. I get very self-conscious and very insecure when I'm with people. And then sometimes I feel like when I have those feelings of insecurity, they come from a place of fear, and it's not a bad thing, because I want people to like me, right? I want to be a good person. I want people to think I'm nice, but I also want them to think I'm a good clarinet player too, right? So then I go in and then I'm nervous, and when I'm nervous, I'm one of those people where my hands shake, and then my embouchure can shake when I'm nervous. So I am just saying all this to let you know that I have been there. I also used to be one of those people that would get very nervous performing, which was challenging. Okay, so when you're playing with the new people, think about it. There's a bunch of things. We can all play these games, right? I can say things like, they're just as nervous as you are, which is absolutely true. So the games that we play inside of our minds, we are all playing these games inside of our minds, right? So I want you to try some thought experiments. Try going into the situation and rewrite the story in your mind. Assume that everybody there is just as nice and as kind as you are, and they're as nice and kind and as good a player as you are. And start with that. Start with a new story of happiness and joy and gratefulness to be with those people, instead of that place of fear. Because when you go into a new situation as a clarinet player, or a job interview, or an audition, or a party, or a prom, in that place of fear, it really makes us have a physical reaction to it. It's that fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. There's 4 of them now. So go into it instead. Try the gratitude exercise. Try the I am so happy to be here. I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to be with you. And I know that's hard. That's very vulnerable. I'm always afraid that, people will make fun of me a little bit when I do that. But I am also a very much of wearing my heart on my sleeve kind of person. And I found that when I am sincere and honest that way, people will respond to that nicely. Every now and then somebody will give me a hard time, and then I cry, and tell them to leave me alone, and that works too. Okay, there are a couple physical things you can help yourself. One of the big ones is when you sit in your chair, when you play with the people you don't know, sit with your feet flat on the ground. Pick a pair of shoes where you can really connect with the ground. So that's different for everybody. I'm one of those people that likes to have either a chunky heel or just a flat shoe where I can really connect with the earth. When you sit with your feet flat on the ground, you're actually activating your proprioception of your entire body. Sit up straight as if a string is pulling you up, and then put your shoulders back. This is called a power pose, and it's actually activating in your body a lot more confidence. So when you sit with more confidence, you will feel more confident and you will look more confident. Even if you have no idea what you're playing and you are pooping all over your clarinet part, sit confidently, keep your head up, and make eye contact, and people will assume that the person next to you is the problem, not you. It's remarkable. I mean, ideally, we don't want to throw somebody else under the bus, but by sitting up straight and looking confident, you will definitely just sort of exude confidence all around you, which would be very great. And then, of course, it'll come back into you and make you confident as well. So the gratitude exercise works good. Sitting up straight, feet flat on the ground. Dress for success. I go back and look at my videos sometimes and I realize how much I love the same clothes because I'm wearing the same outfit in so many videos. But wear something that makes you feel powerful. You know, it's one of the reasons I love business suits. I mean, men, you can put that suit on. You guys always look good. It is a struggle for me to find clothes that I really, really feel strong and powerful in. But make sure that the clothes feel great, because even if you're just slightly overdressed, that's also going to exude that confidence as well. Don't go too far like my poor sweet husband did when well, it's my fault because we went to a wedding and I told him it was black tie and it wasn't. So he was the only one there with a tuxedo on other than the grooms. And that was great. But he still loves me. And then really, you know, one of the greatest lessons I learned was from David Krakauer, my clarinet teacher at Manhattan School of Music. And if you haven't heard him play, please go look him up. He's absolutely amazing. And his big thing was be nice. Don't be an a-hole, you know, be a good person, be easy to work with, be flexible, and don't get defensive. I'm one of those people when I'm insecure and I'm feeling like I'm in a bad place, I have a tendency to lean into the defensive category. Just put all that away. So anyway, so that's a very long answer, Ashanti, but you'll be in a small group of people that you've never met. Another thing that helps me is just finding a place of connection that's outside of music. Music is so highly charged with feelings that it helps me to find a different way to connect with people. I'm not a sports person, so I don't connect that way, but I am a video game person, so sometimes I try that. I do like movies and books, so I'll try a different way to connect with people so that it's not all about the music, and then that helps also. Okay, I'm going to try and get to another one. Shane, that time you were in a live stream and your picture fell behind you. Did my picture fall behind me? Oh, no, that was another one. But yes, that did happen. Okay, going great, great feedback, better tone. Yeah, so Mike's talking about his oobel, which it just sounded great when I heard him play it. And Zara, hey, just out of curiosity, when do you usually go on Instagram Live? I don't do Instagram Live that much. I should. Every now and then I'll do it if I'm feeling up for it, or if I have any kind of product review, I usually do it. So yeah, I haven't been good with the Instagram Live. One of these days I'll get better at that. Okay. Sammy, how do you look cool using the clarinet? How do you look cool using the clarinet? Sammy, you're in the wrong place to look cool unless you're Martin Frost. So there's this great story of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and she was going to be the goddess of music, and they gave her an aulos. And an aulos, I don't have any pencils with me, but it looks like an oboe that goes with two. So you would play it with both hands, and it was a double reed instrument. But she had to make an embouchure to do it. And when she was playing it, she saw her reflection in the water, and she was so upset with how she looked making the embouchure that she wouldn't be the goddess of music. That's how much it upset her. So with clarinet, it can be kind of challenging to look cool. We make all these weird faces. I mean, there are memes of Sabina Meyer, God bless her, out there of her not making the greatest face. So how to look cool playing the clarinet. Anybody put your advice in there. The coolest part about playing the clarinet, honestly, for looking, is I get to wear all black all the time, which is my favorite. I lived in New York City for a while, and everybody wears black there, and I kind of just stayed with it. So I like the clothes I get to wear at concerts. Um, I like holding the clarinet, but boy, when I play it, I don't look too cool. Um, okay, great, great and interesting question. Okay, Anna, thank you so much. And then Anna wants to know where I bought my clarinet. Are you asking where do you buy the clarinet? Like where does one buy the Ubel or the RZ that I did the live stream about? Or are you asking like where does one buy a clarinet in general? Or are you asking where I bought my clarinet? So give me a little more details with that question and we'll wrap up with that one. So for instance, with this clarinet, my buffet, I contacted Lisa's Clarinet Shop. And what she did is she went to Paris and she picked out a bunch of clarinets and then she came back. And so I told her, I had a phone consultation with her and I talked with her about what kind of playing I do, what sound concept I have, what other clarinet players I like, what do I do in addition to playing, so for teaching and things like that. And then she picked out, oh my gosh, I think it was 8 clarinets for me to try. So let me see if my math is right. I think it might have been more than that. It was 2 Toscas, 2 Festivals, 2 Prestiges, and 2 R13s. That's exactly right. And then I went through and I played them all. I tried to do it blindly so I didn't see which one was which because that's tempting to base your clarinet choice on the model and the brand and even the price. So I went through blind. I was really hoping I'd like the R13s because they are less money. And then I was hoping to like the Festival because that's less money, not less than the R13s. But I ended up liking the Prestige the best, which is still a wonderful clarinet, not as expensive as a Tosca, but that was the one that I liked. So that was how I went about with that clarinet trying process. But that wasn't what you meant to ask. What you wanted to ask was how did you get into playing the clarinet? Okay, so there's 2 stories with me in the clarinet. The one is when they did the instrument trials when you're in 4th grade and they come around and they're like, what instrument do you want to play, sort of thing. It was in 4th grade at my old school in New Jersey. I thought the clarinet looked like a recorder. So that's why I picked it. I remember the first day I had it trying to put the barrel on upside down, and it was very frustrating until my brother told me to flip it. And then I played the clarinet for maybe a week or 2, and then I stopped, and then we moved. And when we moved, my new school didn't have a band program until 6th grade. And then we had the clarinet, and I joined band then, but the practices were at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and there was absolutely no way my mother was going to drive me to them. So I dropped out of band again. I have many band dropout stories. And then I started up again when I was in 7th or 8th grade. I think it was 8th grade. Because I didn't get the lead in the school play, and I thought, well, I'll be in band, and then I'll do that instead of the play. And I still did the play, but I wasn't the star, and I was very sad about that. And so then I played clarinet and saxophone. I did a lot of tenor saxophone back then. And then, but I didn't practice, I just showed up for band. I don't think I ever took the instrument home. It was missing a thumb rest. I mean, it was a disaster. And then when I was in high school, then I got really into it. And then I started taking lessons. And then I went to a music festival called Luzerne Music Festival in upstate New York. And I had never played in an orchestra before or even really heard an orchestra before. And that was it. I was done. I played chamber music, orchestra, and I was sold. And I wanted to be a clarinet player. And originally I wanted to play in Broadway. And then I realized you have to buy all of those instruments. When you're playing in a Broadway pit, you're expected to double on oboe, bassoon, all the saxophones, all the clarinets, and flute. And there was just no way I could pull that off. And then I just stuck with classical music, and here I am today. And that's my very long story. But I'm going to wrap that up. Anna, I love that. Okay. If you do end up trying the Oogles or the RZs, anybody that's here, I gave the code in the other video, but there's a coupon code that we have. It's Katina5. So if you end up getting one of those, please use the coupon code. It'll save you 5%. That's a lot of money, which is really, really nice. But thank you. Merry Christmas. And oh yes, I got a show recommendation. The Bishop's Wife. Thank you very much. I will definitely try it. We were going through all the Monk episodes right now, which is cracking me up because I want to just keep fixing my lampshade. And I can say hello to you. You says Anna, but I'm gonna say hi, Barbara. And thank you everybody for coming. Merry Christmas. Keep your eyes open for the next live stream. We're gonna do a giveaway for that one, and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Bye, everybody.